I can't think of a better use for a Friday than for a committee of the whole council meeting roundup. Yesterday, we got into the weeds on the CAO report, which is part of the council meeting agenda. That is clickable in the description to this video below if you're on Facebook or YouTube. Today, I want to just give kind of an overview of some of the things that happened and were said, almost like a summary of the council committee of the whole meeting. Now, you can watch the full thing online as you always can, or you can attend in the gallery like I did on Wednesday night. But basically what I want to do here is what I will do as mayor, kind of give you, I guess we can call it like a Monday, a meeting mayor roundup, not Monday because it happens Wednesday and I probably won't take that long. I'd like to come out of these council meetings, which happen on Wednesday, and give you a roundup of not just what was said, which is kind of like what I'm limited to doing right now, giving you the salient parts, the most interesting parts, making things understandable for you. Because like I say, sometimes when you click on the meeting agenda and click on those paper clips, you are looking at a document that is completely foreign to you and you have to start deciphering it, which is fine if you're into that sort of thing. Sometimes you need to ask some advice, but also if we had a mayor who was explaining not just what you're looking at, but the rationale around it and how it fits into the larger picture, I think we'd have a much more educated resident base here in the municipality of St. Stephen, the Municipal District of St. Stephen. And I just think that would help us. You know, a lot of the frustration, I think, comes from not understanding. And having been in customer service with my own corporation for many, many years, I find people are most frustrated when they don't understand how to do something, even if it's log in to the course platform that I provide. Once you walk them through, help them understand why things are the way they are. Oh, okay. And I just feel like a lot of the frustration we see in town here is from residents who don't know what's going on, how to look for what's going on, or even when they find it, you're looking at really inaccessible documents sometimes. So as mayor, I want to come on here and help you understand how to view things, what they mean, and again, how they fit into the larger picture of what is happening here in the Municipal District of St. Stephen. I feel like that would be, I feel like it's essential. I don't feel like it would just be really nice. As somebody who pays taxes, and this is the issue. I mean, it's not one-to-one in terms of, oh, a taxpayer is a customer. But in a way, when you pay for something, and I've said this coaching business leaders and entrepreneurs for years, once somebody gives you their money, you are obligated, you're entitled to return something for that exchange of value. That's what's happening when we pay our taxes. And that's where there's frustration in the sense of, I don't know what I'm paying for. But when I say, for example, we are dealing with $14.6 million of revenue. That's the dollars that we can work with. But as I said yesterday, what happens when you need $11.5 million of infrastructure upgrades and repairs because things from the lift station for water, for the water treatment and the roads and pipes and mains are bursting and crumbling? Well, then there's something to manage, and we have to do this together. I feel like residents don't know that a lot of the time. We don't even know what the budget is. And so you start to feel like I'm paying $250 a month in property tax. I've said that before. I'm transparent and open about that. And what am I paying for? Especially next year when we all likely see a jump because of these shortfalls. Okay, so that's all that to say, helping you understand what's happening in the meetings, or what's happening in the larger picture with the CAO, the Southwest Service Commission, and these reports are really helpful. And I want to kind of interpret them for you. I don't want to say translate because it's not inaccessible, but from someone who's on the outside, just a resident who really digs in and gets to know the stuff. As a mayoral candidate, I should be in it a bit deeper than you are. When you are a councillor, or I would say again, the mayor is responsible to communicate these things. That's the kind of mayor that I commit to being for you. So really quick, let's start the roundup with yesterday. The new business in the meeting was community safety update, the RCMP. And again, I've told you, I'm today years old when I find out things like this. You know, I've been attending meetings for years. But, this might be the thing that kind of happens infrequently. Did you know that you can look at the RCMP Q3 report if you're wondering what's going on with crime? What are the trends? What are the specific calls? Property related calls versus drug related calls versus traffic related calls. It's all there. Their report is mostly charts and graphs and pie charts and things like that. When you look at it, maybe you think you're looking at like a high school math exercise because it's not really interpreted. There's very little interpreted in the report. That said, there is going to be an RCMP meeting with members of the council in, I think in April. So they released the quarterly report. This was for Q3, so quite a bit behind, but they aggregate all the data and things, release it publicly, and then meet with the council to discuss questions, concerns, and things like that. And for example, Councillor Harding yesterday said, can we get a breakdown of there's a specific number of calls for St. Stephen. I can pull it up here. It's interesting because you've got we're part of RSC 10, right? Regional Service Commission 10. The province is divided up into regional service commissions. We're part of number 10, and number 10 received 600. The RCMP took 647 calls or occurrences, whether that's, traffic stops or anything like that. Any kind of occurrence gets logged in the system, and there were 647 in St. Stephen. So Councillor Harding, for example, wanted to see a breakdown. Can we see what, obviously she's asking about the lodge or that kind of thing. Can we see where the calls are? Is there a hotter spot than others? And I'm not sure. Nobody on the council was sure, but that's the kind of thing where a meeting with the RCMP is really beneficial. So that is something that I think if you're interested, you should take a look at that document. Click on the little paper clip. The other thing was the Community Well-Being Task Force. What is that? Well, that was instituted last year around concerns around the lodge and people who are experiencing homelessness, roaming around town, drug paraphernalia, that kind of thing. Not exclusively the lodge and homelessness, but more about like bylaws and parking and things like that. There is a sense in town that things aren't quite as locked down as they could be. I would agree with that. I'm just going to go on the record here and saying, as a board member of Neighborhood Works, a lot of people feel like that's going to work against me in the election. If that's the case, so be it. I am proud to be part of the solutions for homelessness. Neighborhood Works is so much more than that. They do incredible work with children and youth in the governmental care system, transitional housing for youth. Incredible organization. But yes, some of it is the lodge, and the Neighborhood Works is helping out people who are experiencing homelessness. So this task force is a part of that. It was, I'll just read you what it is if you're wondering. It's an advisory body established by council to provide insight and recommendations on strategies that promote social, physical, mental, environmental well-being of residents. So wonderful. Membership is 7 members. A representative from council, municipal staff, the RCMP, Department of Social Development, that's provincial, and up to 3 community members, 1 who has to live within 300 meters of the shelter. So that is the makeup, and the committee met. Councillor Harding is the chair of that, and she did say that there was some discussion around the lodge and things like that. I took 3 pages of notes, so it's in front of me here what was said when, it's important for you to know, too, about a homelessness event that is happening. It's hosted by the province and the municipality. So again, if I'm mayor, I would be communicating this to you and saying, hey, it's on a Tuesday night, the 24th. It's going to be kind of trade show style. There's going to be lots of services there. Any agency that serves homeless people experiencing homelessness, their needs, that is going to be there. And then there's going to be a panel discussion. Again, this is put on by the province and by the municipality. So I would really, if you're interested in activity and how we're going to solve this problem together, challenges, problems, complications, ways we're going to proceed forward, I would advise you to attend that. And that was mentioned last night. Councillor Rodas also asked, task force related, if that area between Ganong Place and the lodge, which seems to be a bit like of a high traffic area for people who are experiencing homelessness, there's some drug paraphernalia sometimes, a lot of loitering. That's not ideal for people who work at Ganong Place and walk back home. And I'm in full agreement with that. I just want to say, if somebody like me is on the board of Neighborhood Works, I don't speak for the board, I don't speak for anyone else on the board or Neighborhood Works, but just myself. As somebody who's running for mayor, I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. And Councillor Rhoda said, you can discuss with the lodge, you can discuss, I mean, their purview, I would argue, ends with the property line. But then can we as a municipality pull in more resources in terms of bylaw enforcement? Obviously, loitering is not a crime that the RCMP can charge you with. If you're sitting around somewhere, they're not going to roll up and throw you in jail or arrest you. But I have talked to other councillors who say, like, there can be exceptional areas, like high impact areas. Think of like areas with like bars, for example, where a lot of people are on the street, maybe prone to fights or littering or that kind of thing. You would have more enforcement. You would have maybe more stringent bylaws around that area that you can enforce. That's the kind of thing that I am for as a member of this community. Again, these are not mutually exclusive. I think we need to figure out solutions together, and that is largely what this task force is about as well. So that was discussed, RCMP, the Community Wellbeing Task Force, and then the basketball court was mentioned, which I gave a full video about that a couple of I don't know how long ago it was, a few days ago. Time's really running today. I think we're at episode 40 here today. And then the CAO, all the reports were mentioned here. I really unpacked the CAO's report yesterday. The deputy CAO had an interesting report about how the lagoon, and that's basically the water treatment, like the sewage, that lagoon is, nearing the middle of its life, he said. It is not, well, he did say falling apart, which I had questions around, like if something's halfway through its life, if I buy a car that's expected to, be in decent shape for 10 years and at 5 years it's falling apart, that's not great. But he was saying that there needs to be some updates and upgrades. And yesterday I talked about this kind of thing, like that, some of that stuff wasn't necessarily on the capital fund, that the renewal fund that money was earmarked for this year. So he's saying, like, hey, joy, future mayors and councilors are going to have to deal with this kind of thing and put it on their radar. And that's just part of what I said. We need to be making sure that we continue to attract new residents and new businesses to increase the tax base. Because like I said, $14.6 million is all we have to work with right now. But as more businesses come, more residents come, as long as we are not pounding out more money for infrastructure, increasing the infrastructure, then we can repair and take care of what we have in a more effective way, okay? So, you know what? I'm looking at the length of this video. I guess I like to do this topically, typically topically. Maybe it'll take me a couple days as mayor to go through and kind of explain some of the rationale. Maybe I'll continue doing... I've been assured by mayors that you don't have time to do this every day. Not that I have a lot of time either. Wait a minute, I'm offending myself here. But really informing you in plain language about what happens and why is something that I think you really need to know. So again, I'm not going to belabor that. Let's pause I want to talk more about the Southwest Service Commission's planning report, because that's a great report about physically things that are happening, what's being built, what's being permitted. It's another way to find out the activity, because that is our planning arm, as I talked about in my 3-day videos about the Southwest Service Commission and what they provide for us. But I'm at risk of actually just going ahead and talking about it right now, and I'm telling you I'm done. Okay, so join me tomorrow, Saturday, for part 2, the continuing and end of the roundup of the meetings. But I want to keep these bite-sized too. People who watch these videos say, I really like how they're less than 15 minutes. And I'm like, well, I'm aiming for 5, so that's probably not a great success. Have a great day. BuildUpStStephen.ca is my website. You can check out more details about me, my commitments, my priorities, and that includes this kind of video and communicating with you, and the action plan of how, when we talk about a project like this, I want to tell you what stage is it in. Are we in the understanding phase? Are we in the planning phase? Are we in the deliberation phase? Are we in the adopt and adapt phase? Or are we in the building phase? Updab, all right? I know it's not catchy, but that's basically what what it makes out if you're acronymizing it. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. Take care of your neighbor. Have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you tomorrow, Saturday, for more of this. Thanks for joining. Cheers.